If you take supplements every morning because you believe they're protecting your health, there's a very good chance one of them is quietly working against you, not for you. And the truly dangerous part is that most people who make this mistake feel responsible, careful, even proactive. They think they're doing something wise. But in my experience, this one error can turn a harmless-looking pill into a hidden source of dizziness, bleeding, false lab results, uncontrolled blood pressure, or medications that suddenly stop working the way they should. And if you're over 60, the consequences can get serious faster than most people realize. I'm Dr. Michael Joel, and today I want to talk to you about the #1 supplement mistake I see older adults make again and again, even the smartest, most health-conscious people. It is not buying the wrong brand. It is not forgetting to take your vitamins with food. It is not choosing capsules instead of gummies. The biggest mistake is far more dangerous because it hides in plain sight. It feels normal. It feels harmless. And by the time people realize what went wrong, they're often already dealing with side effects, frightening symptoms, or medication problems nobody saw coming. That is why this video matters so much. Please subscribe today, share this video with someone you love, and join me for simple, life-saving health guidance every week. I want to begin with a woman I'll call Carol from Tampa, Florida, because her story captures this problem better than any chart ever could. Carol was 72, organized, thoughtful, and proud of the way she kept up with her health. Every morning, she lined up her blood pressure pill, her cholesterol medication, her blood thinner, and then right beside them, she placed what she called her healthy extras. A memory supplement, a circulation supplement, vitamin E, garlic, ginkgo. Nothing illegal, nothing exotic. Everything bought right here in the United States, right off a shelf that looked perfectly respectable. Then one afternoon, she developed alarming bruising and a nosebleed that would not stop. Carol thought the culprit had to be her prescription blood thinner, because that seemed obvious. But the real problem was not one pill. It was the pile. No one had ever reviewed the entire combination together. Her supplements were not being treated like active substances with real effects inside a real body. They were being treated like decorations around the medication list. That is the #1 mistake with supplements. Not respecting them as medically active products that must be reviewed together with every prescription, every over-the-counter drug, every medical condition, every upcoming surgery, and every lab test. If you miss that step, you can create problems without realizing it for months or even years. And here is why this mistake becomes even more dangerous after 60, and I need you to hear this clearly. As we get older, many of us are taking more than one medication. Blood pressure medicine, cholesterol medicine, thyroid medicine, medicine for sleep, pain, diabetes, reflux, arthritis, the list grows. At the same time, the body may handle medications and supplements differently than it did at 35 or 45. A supplement that seems small on the label can become much bigger in real life when it meets blood thinners, antidepressants, heart medicine, or a body already dealing with kidney issues, balance problems, or low blood pressure. That combination is where trouble begins. Now, the reason this mistake fools so many good people is simple. Supplements don't look dangerous. Prescription bottles look serious. Supplements look cheerful. They come in bright labels, soft colors, big promises, heart health, brain support, immune defense, better sleep, healthy joints, more energy, natural calm. That word natural is where many people let their guard down. But natural does not mean gentle, and it certainly does not mean safe for everyone. Some supplements can weaken medications. Some can strengthen them too much. Some can change how a drug is absorbed, broken down, or cleared from the body. That is not theory. That happens in the real world. Let me show you how this plays out with one of the most overlooked examples in America, St. John's wort. A lot of people hear about it as a natural mood support product and assume it must be mild. But this herb has a long history of interacting with important medications. I want you to imagine a retired man in Phoenix, Arizona, someone I'll call Frank. Frank did what millions of Americans do. He felt a little low, a little flat, a little tired of feeling heavy inside. He didn't want to bother anyone. He saw St. John's wort at a supplement store, thought it sounded harmless, and added it to his daily routine without telling his doctor. That decision changed everything. Frank was already taking medication for his heart and another medication for cholesterol, and over the next few months, his doctors kept adjusting things because the response wasn't what they expected. Nothing made clean sense. He was taking his prescriptions exactly as instructed. He was doing what he was supposed to do, but that hidden supplement was altering the picture. This is what makes the #1 mistake so dangerous. People assume the doctor knows what's going on because the doctor knows the prescriptions. But if your doctor does not know the supplements, then no, they do not know the full chemistry taking place inside your body. And without that full picture, good decisions get harder. Then there's the bleeding problem. which is especially important for older adults in the United States because so many people over 60 take aspirin, prescription blood thinners, or other heart medications. FDA guidance and major medical centers warn that products like ginkgo biloba, garlic, and vitamin E can increase bleeding risk, especially when they're layered with medications already affecting clotting. Think about how easy that is to miss. One person takes aspirin because of prior heart trouble. Then they add a circulation supplement because the label promised better blood flow. Then they add vitamin E because they heard it helps cell health. None of those bottles screams emergency. But together, they can create a much riskier situation. A woman I'll call Nancy from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, learned that lesson the hard way right before a routine procedure. Nancy had a dental extraction scheduled, nothing dramatic, nothing she was afraid of. She filled out her medication form honestly, but only with prescriptions. She didn't list her supplements because, in her mind, they were just vitamins. She had been taking ginkgo and garlic for months. The bleeding during and after the procedure was far more difficult than expected, and suddenly the dental team was asking questions nobody had asked before. That moment matters because the number one mistake is not simply taking supplements. It is separating supplements from the medical conversation as though they exist in another universe. Now let's talk about a different kind of danger. One that doesn't create extra bleeding but can make a prescription work worse. Calcium and iron supplements can interfere with the absorption of certain medications. That means the medication may not get into your body the way your doctor intended. On paper, it looks like you're being perfectly compliant. In reality, your routine is canceling itself out. This happens with some antibiotics. It also matters with thyroid medication, which many older adults take every single day. And because calcium is so commonly recommended for bone health in the United States, especially for seniors, this hidden conflict is more common than most people think. I remember a man I'll call Robert from Columbus, Ohio, who was incredibly disciplined with his morning routine. He woke at 6 o'clock, took his thyroid medication, drank water, then swallowed his calcium supplement and multivitamin because he liked getting everything done at once. He felt efficient. He felt healthy. But his thyroid levels kept looking off, and his doctor kept wondering whether the medication dose needed to change. The dose was not the real problem. The timing was. Robert wasn't failing the medication. His supplement schedule was interfering with it. And this is why I keep telling people the number one mistake is treating supplements like harmless add-ons. They are active participants in the entire system. And then we come to one of the most unsettling examples of all, biotin. Biotin is often marketed for hair, skin, and nails, and plenty of older adults take it because thinning hair and brittle nails feel personal. They feel visible. They feel like something you can do something about. But the FDA has warned that biotin can interfere with certain lab tests, including some troponin tests used in evaluating heart injury. Think about how serious that is. You go in for lab work assuming the blood test is giving a clean answer, but a supplement you bought for cosmetic reasons may be distorting part of the picture. That is not a small issue. A woman I'll call Gloria from Dallas, Texas, found herself in an emergency room after chest discomfort and fatigue. And like many people her age, she brought a medication list, but not always a full supplement list. She didn't think her hair and nails tablet mattered. Why would it? It wasn't a heart medicine. It wasn't a prescription. It was just something she bought at a chain store between paper towels and shampoo. But that is exactly the mindset that creates danger. When we fail to mention supplements, we may be withholding a critical clue from the people trying to interpret our symptoms, our labs, and our treatment plan. And in medicine, missing one clue can change the entire direction. Now, I want to show you another version of this same mistake because some of you may be thinking, I don't take anything exotic. Maybe not, but duplication is everywhere. One bottle says multivitamin. Another says bone support. Another says immune support. Another says nerve health. Another says eye formula. Different labels, different promises, same ingredients repeating underneath. Vitamin D shows up twice. Vitamin A shows up twice. Vitamin B6 shows up twice. Minerals stack. Specialty blends stack. Suddenly, a person who thinks they take 4 modest supplements is actually taking one nutrient at several different doses from several different products. And that is where overdosing can happen without anyone meaning to. I met a woman I'll call Janice from Cleveland, Ohio, who was absolutely convinced she was being careful because she never exceeded the amount listed on any single bottle. But she wasn't taking 1 bottle. She was taking 5. Her daily routine included a multivitamin, a hair and nails formula, a bone formula, a nerve support product, and a stress support product. When she began developing tingling and balance trouble, she assumed age was catching up with her. She assumed maybe it was just circulation. But high intakes of certain vitamins, including too much B6, can cause real problems. Janice didn't need more products. She needed one thorough review of everything together. That review changed her entire plan. There is also the blood pressure trap. And if you watch this channel, you already know I take that very seriously. Some supplement ingredients can raise blood pressure, lower it too much, or cause dizziness that older adults mistakenly blame on aging itself. AARP and major medical centers have emphasized that older adults are especially vulnerable to side effects, falls, and medication-related reactions when supplements are added to an already complicated regimen. That matters because once dizziness enters the picture, a fall may not be far behind. And for someone over 60 in the United States, a fall is never just a fall. It can become a fracture, a hospitalization, or the beginning of a completely different life. One of the most misleading ideas in health culture is this. If something is sold over the counter, it must have been proven safe the same way a prescription drug is proven safe. That is simply not how this works. Supplements do not go through the same pre-market approval process for safety and effectiveness as prescription medications. So when people say, well, they wouldn't sell it if it was a problem, I understand why they feel that way. But it is not a reliable safety test. The shelf is not a medical clearance. The pretty label is not a safety review. The word premium is not a guarantee. And natural, as I said before, is not protection. This is why I get so concerned when someone tells me, doctor, I don't really take medications, just a few supplements. Sometimes that sentence sounds healthier than it really is. Because when I ask what the few supplements are, I hear 10 different products. I hear duplicates. I hear herbs. I hear powders. I hear energy formulas. I hear sleep gummies. I hear memory blends. I hear calcium, magnesium, zinc, immune boosters, liver cleanses, detox teas, and things with labels so vague nobody can tell what the active ingredients are without a magnifying glass. That is not a casual routine. That is a chemical routine. And if no professional has reviewed it, you are flying blind. Let me pause here because this is the heart of the video, and I don't want you to miss it. The number one mistake with supplements is not ignorance. It is compartmentalization. People put prescriptions in one mental box and supplements in another. The doctor handles one box. The patient handles the other. And because nobody is looking at both boxes at the same time, dangerous overlaps hide in the gap. That is the mistake. That is the blind spot. That is how well-meaning people end up over-supplemented, under-medicated, over-anticoagulated, dizzy, or confused by lab results. Once you understand that, the whole supplement world starts to look different. And surgery is one of the clearest examples. Because this is where hidden supplement use can suddenly matter a lot. Before surgery, before a colonoscopy, before a dental procedure, before anything involving bleeding risk or anesthesia, your healthcare team needs to know what you take. Not just prescriptions, not just aspirin, everything. Some supplements can increase bleeding risk. Others can affect your response to anesthesia. And here is where people get into trouble. They think they asked for medications, not my vitamins. No. If it goes into your mouth, under your tongue, in your tea, or in your shaker bottle, it belongs in that conversation before the procedure, not after something goes wrong. Another trap is pride. And I say that gently because I understand it. A lot of people over 60 don't want to feel dependent on the medical system. They want to be informed. They want to take initiative. They want to handle small problems themselves. I respect that instinct. But there is a difference between taking initiative and running a chemistry experiment on your body without full information. The supplement industry often speaks the language of empowerment, and that sounds wonderful. But real empowerment is not owning more bottles. Real empowerment is knowing exactly why each product is there, what it could interact with, whether you truly need it, and when to stop it. That is wisdom. So what should you do instead, starting today, especially if your kitchen counter already looks like a small pharmacy? First, make one complete list. Not two lists, not an important medicine list and a vitamin list. One complete list. Prescription medications, over-the-counter pain relievers, sleep aids, antacids, vitamins, minerals, herbals, powders, gummies, teas, everything. Write down the exact name, the dose, how often you take it, and why you think you're taking it. If you do not know why you take it, write that down too. That uncertainty itself is useful information, because once it is all on one page, the truth becomes much easier to see. And if you can do something even better, put every bottle in a shopping bag and bring it to your next appointment, or take clear photos of every label, front and back. That includes the supplement facts panel. The reason is simple. Many people think they remember what they take, but when we look closely, the details are often incomplete. The strength is different. The serving size is different. The product has 3 extra ingredients nobody remembered. The word proprietary blend appears, which means the marketing was remembered better than the chemistry. When the labels are in front of you and your clinician or pharmacist, the conversation becomes real instead of approximate. Next, I want you to ask 4 questions about every supplement, and these questions can protect you from a lot of harm. Number 1, what problem is this supposed to solve, and do I actually have evidence that I need it? Number 2, could this interact with any prescription, over-the-counter medication, or medical condition I have? Number 3, am I duplicating this ingredient in another product? And number 4, if I stop this tomorrow, what exactly would be lost? You would be amazed how many supplement routines collapse under those 4 questions because they were built on habit, hope, advertising, or fear, not on a clear medical reason. I also want you to involve your pharmacist, because pharmacists are one of the most underused safety resources in America. Many older adults see several doctors, and each doctor may know one part of the story. But pharmacists often see the entire medication profile and can spot conflicts that a rushed office visit may miss. If you start a supplement, ask. If you stop one, mention it. If you switch brands, say so. Brand changes matter because the ingredients and doses may change. And if you've been feeling off lately, dizzy, bruised, nauseated, foggy, or weak, do not assume age is the cause. Sometimes the answer is sitting on your countertop. Now, some of you may be wondering, what about the supplements people actually may need after 60? That is a fair question. There are situations where supplements can be helpful and appropriate. Calcium, vitamin D, vitamin B12, and others may matter for certain people depending on diet, age, lab results, bone health, absorption issues, or medical conditions. I am not anti-supplement, not even close. What I am against is casual supplementation without context. The right supplement for the right person at the right dose can be useful. The wrong supplement, the duplicated supplement, or the badly timed supplement can be a problem. The issue is not the existence of supplements. It is the lack of review. Let me tell you about one more patient, a man I'll call Walter from Des Moines, Iowa. Walter was 76 and took enormous pride in never missing his routine. Every morning he swallowed 10 pills and capsules before 7 a.m. He believed that discipline alone made the routine safe. He told me, "Doctor, if any of this was bad for me, I'd know by now." But he didn't know. He had been bruising more easily. He had episodes of lightheadedness when he stood up. He had a thyroid medication timing issue. He had duplicate vitamin D. He had an herbal product his cardiologist didn't know existed. The routine wasn't safe because it was consistent. It was consistently unreviewed. When we finally laid everything out on the table, bottle by bottle, the look on his face said it all. Not fear, not embarrassment, relief. Because for the first time, someone was looking at the whole picture instead of one corner of it. We simplified his regimen. We removed what he didn't need. We spaced what had to be separated. We flagged what needed physician follow-up. And within weeks, he felt steadier, clearer, less tired, less worried. That is what I want for you. Not more pills. Not fewer pills just for the sake of fewer. I want clarity. I want purpose. I want every product you take to earn its place. That is the standard. So if you remember only one sentence from this entire video, let it be this. Never take a supplement as if it exists outside your medical life. It is part of your medical life the moment you swallow it. It belongs on the same list as your prescriptions. It belongs in the same discussion as your heart condition, your blood pressure, your thyroid, your surgery, your fall risk, and your lab work. Once you understand that, the supplement bottle stops being a little health accessory and becomes what it really is, an active substance with the power to help, harm, or confuse depending on how it's used. That mindset alone can protect you. Now, let me give you the practical safety plan, because information only matters if you can use it. Starting today, keep one updated medication and supplement list in your wallet, on your phone, or both. Before starting any new supplement, check it against every prescription and over-the-counter product you already take. If you are due for surgery, dental work, or a procedure, tell the team about every supplement early. If you are getting lab tests, mention supplements, especially high-dose biotin. If you take calcium or iron, ask whether the timing could interfere with other medications. And if you take more than one combination product, check for overlapping ingredients. These steps are simple, but they change outcomes. Also, stop assuming a side effect must come from your prescription. Sometimes the prescription gets blamed because it has the more serious-looking label, while the supplement hides in the background like an innocent bystander. But the supplement may be contributing to the dizziness, the nausea, the bruising, the stomach upset, the sleep disruption, or the strange change in how another medication performs. That is why I want you to think like a detective. Anytime something changes in your body, ask what changed in your routine. New bottle? New brand? New dose? New gummy you started because an ad sounded convincing? Do not underestimate small changes. That is where many problems begin. And please, do not let fear push you into the opposite extreme either. I'm not asking you to panic and throw every bottle in the trash tonight. I am asking you to slow down, review, simplify, and stop letting marketing decide what goes into your body. The goal is not paranoia. The goal is precision. The goal is to replace guesswork with informed decisions. That is especially important for my viewers over 60, because the margin for error gets smaller when medications, medical conditions, and age-related vulnerabilities start overlapping. What seems like a tiny supplement choice on Monday can become a big clinical problem by Friday. That is the reality. So here is the bottom line, as plainly as I can say it. The number one mistake you are making with supplements is taking them without a full medication review, as if they are harmless extras instead of active medical players. That one mistake can lead to bleeding, reduced medication effectiveness, distorted lab results, overdosing through duplication, dizziness, falls, and confusion that never needed to happen. But once you correct that mistake, once every supplement is reviewed in the light of your medications and your real health situation, the entire picture gets safer. You make better choices. Your doctors make better decisions. And you finally know what is actually helping you. That is powerful. If this message hit home for you, I want you to do something important after this video ends. Gather your supplement bottles. Put them next to your prescriptions. Make one complete list. Then bring that list or bring the bottles to your doctor or pharmacist and ask for a full review. Not later, not someday. This week, because the most dangerous supplement problem is often the one hiding inside a routine that feels completely normal. And those are exactly the problems that get missed the longest. Protect your heart. Protect your balance. Protect your brain. Protect your peace of mind. And I'll be right here to help you do it one smart decision at a time.